Yo, what's up, kids? It's Maddie here on Just for Fun, bringing you another crazy standard deck. This is called Temur Black. This was a competitive deck that I remade to, slightly more budget friendly and more just for fun style deck. It's four colors. Basically, you're splashing black, sort of. It's pretty even. But goal is play a fat dude, of which there are 11 in the deck. Play a fat dude and protect it with removal and a cheap counter interaction. So here's how the deck works. There's a lot of fetch lands in the deck, weird 4-color mana base, but it actually works really nicely, the way the lands are set up here. Plus we've got 2 lumbering falls here as additional threats. So the early and mid game is right here. You got Rattleclaws for ramping and fixing, and Heir of the Wilds is just it punches way above its weight class. This is a powerful card. This is like a Uriah Faber, if you will. This is a little dude that gets a lot of work done. He's deadly. So I like him in the deck because Ferocious is almost always applicable, and even if it isn't, it trades up. So you've got some Wild Slashes and Fiery Impulses to kill little stuff in the beginning, to keep you on pace, disrupt your opponent until you can play fat. You've got also in the 1-drop slot Stubborn Denial, which is one of the most underrated cards out there. This card, 1 mana negate. So like negate is amazing and it takes people off guard all the time, and this is better than negate in the right deck. I mean, even when it's not, it's like, even when it's bad Spell Pierce, that's still okay. Standard is not a format where people are thinking about keeping mana up for counter spells. People are not thinking about that. So, people get greedy and want to save cards in the graveyard for their delve spell, their dig through time or something. You can really punish that with this card. So, love Stubborn Denial. And the plan with this is to just play one of your big things with 1 blue mana up, so that you can protect it from the inevitable removal spell they're going to throw at it. And, what are our threats here? Well, Savage Knuckleblade, which also does a pretty fine job of protecting itself if you have enough mana. This is a card that's decent on turn 3 and incredible on turn 7. Basically, once you have enough mana to A, give it haste, and B, use the blue ability. Well, if you can use the blue, you can use the green, but anyhow, the blue ability is really what makes this card stand out, because you can bounce it back to your hand in response to a removal spell, play it out again, and give it haste, so it doesn't even lose any tempo for using that ability. This card is so great. It's like Morphling and Aetherling and all those cards that came before it that are just perfect, hard to kill threats. Woodland Wanderer is just massive. This is just a big, dumb, fat thing that kills you. It's vigilance, so it's great in a race. It blocks on the ground tremendously, and it's got trample, so it's somewhat evasive in a sense. I mean, it's just really powerful card. It's always going to be a 6/6. You'll see in the videos I did not cast this for less than 6/6, and it's not like I had to wait that long to do that. I just had to plan my fetches accordingly. So you should really fetch keeping this card in mind. Now, Kolaghan's Command was an addition I made to the deck because any deck that can cast this card, I like to cast it because it's just such a powerful card. It does everything. It's always good. There's very rarely a situation where this is bad, right? Worst case scenario, it's like shock you and make you discard a card, right? Shock Raven's Crime for 3 mana instant speed. So when you're late in the game and you're on top decks, you can pause in your opponent's draw step, maybe keep them from landing the threat that flattens you, you know, and either get back one of your threats. I mean, it does it all. Murderous Cut, what can I say? Again, another card that I will never cease to play because it's just perfect. It's a 1-mana murder a lot of the time, and you know, again, this is an effect that you don't mind paying 3 mana for. So to be able to pay it for 1, sometimes it's all upside. It's an all upside card. Gurmag Angler is here in the stead of. So yeah, this was not in the tournament deck, and Gurmag Angler was not in the tournament deck. Tasigur was. Now, I happen to feel that Angler is just better than Tasigur. I mean, yes, Tasigur is 1 mana less. Yes, it has an ability, and this doesn't have an ability. 1 mana doesn't mean crap with Delve. Delve is so good. They might as well both cost the same. B, I think the point of power is more important than the ability, depending on the deck. If you're getting in a situation where you have the Tasigur in play and enough mana to use the ability, you're most likely winning already, because they haven't removed him or what have you. I'd much rather be able to punch through Siege Rhinos and other Tasigurs and things like that by having an extra point of power on my card. Plus, this costs negative 87 tickets, and Tasigur costs like 3 or 4 tickets or whatever. So I'm a big fan of the zombie fish, and I stand by my decision. Finally, in the tournament deck, they had the red Sarkhan, and I wanted to play Temur Sarkhan because where else are you going to play Temur Sarkhan but then this deck? This is a Temur Sarkhan deck, right? This is Temur Black. It's big, dumb, fat things. It's fun cards. This card is really good. It's really good. I mean, all Planeswalkers are pretty decent to begin with, but this is draw a card or make a 4/4. Both of these are very good. The last ability doesn't matter, like most of the Planeswalkers, but this one really doesn't matter because we don't have any dragons in the deck, nor do I care to, because I'm just going to use him to draw cards, make dragons, and you'll see I use him for both of those. Plus, Planeswalkers are huge lightning rods. They will get attention away from you. Like, if you cast this, minus it, make a dragon, opponent's likely going to have to use either 2 cards to get rid of it by using a removal spell and then a burn spell, or you know, they might have to use 2 removal spells to get rid of both things, or they might have to make an attack they wouldn't make otherwise or something. So it's just value even from the beginning. So sideboard, my sideboard isn't totally correct, but I just kind of threw something together, and you know, in the right, it has good situational cards. So since the deck is good at delving, we can play Treasure Cruise if there's some kind of big attrition style matchup that we think will need extra cards. Duress obviously there for the control matchup where the Wild Slash and Fiery Impulse suck. This will be much better. Seismic Rupture there for the little aggro decks, and Naturalize, you know, doing what it does, pretty good against the white enchantment removals, enchantment based removal. Oh, and I forgot these here because they were hiding in the 7 slot here, but Crater's Claws is the other benefit to playing all the 4/4s and big dudes in the deck. It's just a huge amount of reach if you can get your opponent down to like 8 or so. Pretty easy to kill them with a Crater's Claws from there. So you know, I always enjoyed playing at least 1 Fireball in my decks back in the day for when a game would stall out and you could just save up mana and blow your opponent to the face. And in a pinch, this is always decent removal as well. So it's a great deck. It's not as much of a silly, fun combo deck or anything, but you know, I like some of the cards in it. Gurmag Angler and 3-colored Rainbow Sarkhan are definitely just for fun cards. And yeah, I enjoy playing with the cards. They're all high power level. And I hope you enjoy watching the videos. It's a fun deck. Put it together. Peace.